What's up everybody? I am filming in my bathroom today because I accidentally made the smoke detectors go off in my oven. I'm currently trying to make my own leaf litter for Liam's enclosure. If you guys have seen my last video, I was talking about making one myself. Currently locked out in my side of the house, my room and my master bedroom, because the rest of the house is filled with smoke right now. On the bright side, I did finish Liam's enclosure today. It is ready to go, so I'm going to show it to you right now. Alright, so here is his finished enclosure. It looks a little shabby right now because there's nothing in it. I built this out of plywood. It's a 2x2x4 enclosure. The inside is coated with black Flex Seal, and then the outside is painted black just so that it matches. There is his radiant heat panel. I also have a light strip that I was able to install diagonally through his enclosure. There's the thermometer probe sticking out. On the side, I have cut out ventilation holes, and I made sure that these were thin enough that Liam's head could not fit through, so he could not escape. And then on the back, I just have all the wires sticking out. So that is going to be from his radiant heat panel. That one is for the light. And at the very bottom, that is the cord for his temperature probe. Okay, so I actually decided to go bioactive in this enclosure, just as Liam's enclosure currently is. I have Eco Earth right there, a little bit of sand, a whole bag of sphagnum moss, and then Reptibark right there. So as you can see now, I have mixed up all of my substrate. This is what it looks like. It's pretty loose because of all the Reptibark and the moss that I put in there. It's just a simple ABG mix. I will link a video to Serpa Designs channel on his formula of making it. And then this is the leaf litter that I kind of messed up. So the bottom part is, you can see I definitely burnt that. But the top is kind of the look I was trying to achieve with the leaf litter, but it doesn't really matter because this will all eventually decompose since it's going into bioactive vivarium anyways. Okay, so here is the finished product. I have put in a lot of plants actually. I knew I was going to put more plants in that corner and less on that side because that's where the heat panel is, and I wasn't sure if the plants would survive being under that heat panel. I currently don't have the glass panels put in right now just so that the camera can get a better view of the close-up. So let's start over on this side. I have all the bird's nest ferns from outside. I did end up taking the bird's nest fern and the snake plant out of Pickle's enclosure. If you watched my last video of me redoing her entire enclosure, there is a water bowl in the front corner. I have some pothos vine, and I actually stole this from Carlisle's tank because his pothos was growing a little bit too much. If you guys can kind of see right there, there is a rock hide. My finger's really blurry, but right underneath that branch is the hole to his rock hide. And then down here I took out some rocks from my front yard, and right there where my little blurry finger is, there is another hide that he can kind of go through. It's just the way the rock was shaped, so I thought that would be really cool for him. And then over here is his actual warm hide that I physically made myself. This sits directly under the radiant heat panel so that he can get all the heat he needs. I also included these little climbing branches from my elm tree in my backyard so that he can get a little bit closer to the top. I couldn't really put anything all the way up in the top just because of the fire precautions. You're not supposed to put anything closer than 6 inches to the surface of the heat panel, so that is about as high as I can get those branches up there. I also have another little baby bird's nest fern over there in that corner. So let me zoom out really quick. This is his enclosure. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Okay, so I have the glass doors in right now. They are a little dirty, but I just wanted to show that I got these little, I think they're called finger pulls, from the glass cutting shop where I got these glass panels custom cut for me. These are 18 by 18 panels, and the way I have them hooked up is I have this aluminum C-channel right here that's cut to fit this whole frame of the enclosure. And then at the bottom, I did use a Dremel tool to saw out the top half of this front lip right here, because if you want to be able to remove the glass panels, the bottom has to be slightly shorter than the top so that it can actually clip in and out. So let me show you a close-up of how this actually works. Hi, Luca. I know. You helped Mama make this enclosure? Yeah, you did. You're such a good boy. Luca just wants to be in the video. He wants credit. He built this enclosure himself, not me. You built it yourself. Yeah. Oh, good boy. Okay, so the way it works is you take your glass panel. Actually, I'm gonna have to use this one. They're still getting stuck. I think I need to put a little bit of oil down in the bottom to help the glass glide. But the idea is you take your panel and you lift it up till it hits the top of the C channel. That way you can slide it out from the bottom just by pulling it like this. So it comes out for easy access and for easy cleaning. And it pops right back in. And then this way it won't fall out because this top lip is longer than the bottom lip over here. So another overview shot of the entire enclosure, this time with the glass panels put in. You can see that they overlap just by about an inch. Carlisle's checking me out through his log. He's like, what did you do to my home? I took out all your pothos, dude. It was overgrown. Yeah, now you just have this bare soil tank. Actually doesn't look too bad like this. But I'll still give you Liam's pothos. You can have his tomorrow. So Liam's pothos is also overgrown too, but not as much to the point where Carlisle's was. I'll get you new pothos tomorrow, okay? Okay, so it is the next day and the enclosure is just at about the right temperature for Liam to go in. So let me go and grab him and move him into his new home. There he is, sleeping. You can kind of get a better shot now of why he has kind of outgrown this tank. His girth is still skinny enough to fit in, but he is about double the length of this tank. So I'm really happy that I got this new enclosure for him. All right, Liam. Say goodbye to your dinky little 10-gallon. You're going into a 4-foot enclosure. This is like a huge upgrade for you, huh, boy? Yeah. All right. So this is his enclosure, and right above it is just my dart frog vivarium. There are no dart frogs in here yet, but hopefully in 2019 I will have some. And there is Liam climbing on my camera, ready to go. And hey, that's not your enclosure. This one's your enclosure. One thing I did notice about this tank that I didn't see yesterday is that the edges don't actually line up with the glass, and I think that's just an error of the wood being cut kind of at an angle. So you can kind of see it on this side as well. Right there, there's a little bit of a gap, but it's still small enough that he can't escape, and I figured it would just be good ventilation for him. There he is trying to get in already. And I've got my two boys right here. Oh, now when I turn the camera on you, you stop playing. Oh, there we go. All right, so now I have the glass doors open all the way to the left side. Got Liam in my hand, and let's put him in. Go check it out. Ooh. Ooh, going right into the hide. Oh, your head poked out. There he goes. He's a little explorer. There's the radiant heat panel up there. I think he's gonna have lots of fun in this tank. There's so much stuff for him to do. So just a quick update on the temperature cord. I apparently installed it wrong when I placed the probe down here. The temperature probe was actually supposed to be 2 to 3 inches away from the heat panel. So I have rerouted it. It now runs along the panel, around that corner, and then out through a little hole in that back corner of the enclosure. And the second update I made for this enclosure was I added felt along the C channel here in the bottom. I super glued the felt down, so now the sliding glass doors slide through with ease, and it's just a lot easier to get the doors open. I can even use these finger pulls now. They're actually useful at this point. So those are just 2 updates that I wanted to include in this video in case anyone else is thinking about making their enclosure. These are just some ideas that they can incorporate if they choose to. Alright, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on Pickle's enclosure. She is right there in the corner. Her plants are still... Boys, her plants are still alive, but I did, as I said earlier in the video, I removed the bird's nest fern and the snake plant from the bottom because it just really wasn't getting any light. I also switched the light to a daylight so it's a little brighter for her, or for the plants at least, and it looks like it's doing okay so far. And I believe these plants right here will be a lot happier in Liam's enclosure than in hers. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you some random clips of Liam exploring his new enclosure. I'm also going to add in some clips of me building the enclosure myself just to show how it looked like before I put it all up. And I was planning to make an entire video of me just building it, but it was taking too long to film, so I'm just going to include some random clips in it instead. It's going to look super unedited, but I just wanted to show people what it looks like before it's all painted, just in case they want to do it themselves. If you guys have any questions about what supplies I use, the dimensions of everything that was cut, leave a comment below and I'll answer it for you. I'm also going to put in a description below a general list of the supplies that I use and how much they cost, so that you can kind of see how much money I saved making my own enclosure versus buying one, in case this is something that you might want to try to do yourself. I did save a good couple $100 building this enclosure myself instead of buying one, because the one that I was looking at was over $600 completely set up, and it had very similar dimensions and same look and feel, like, you know, with the black and the sliding doors. It looked very much like what I just made myself. Okay, so enjoy the clips and the rest of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you like the content, and I will see you next time.